Mwanchumo rigereria gwa Ensoko TV oborosuo mugusine mambia ndengi ari tukerigaria 25 na gatatu karibu sana ase mambia eyega guchakera boro wika chinse isano ne muno kugera kwane kwabokire bya kwagenderera bya kurando sia sore mambia ya bona kerikeringo kwarigania aso guchia korigereria ali agendera tokore kana ya korekanire aya etre nabo ga yara chikubwatia ase ritukeriga no nyene ikiyega ase ritukeriga rie Jumatare mambia ya boro tuchake na gusanga aso bwamo wetera senchero yo mutandao bwekerero ase semo ya Facebook na bwega semo ya YouTube Ensoko TV namba ya mawasiliano ase ujumbe enyenge nigere noti isano na ibere isano na isano ne mumara gatano omwerio beka isato tuchake asobwamo kuroboro goika omwerio eliteriane Ishmael Mogere. Asomo chakare mambi ya bono ebunge nene ya 13 imeyense nigagendret nigikaro isiko ye bunge imiyo muchona Ivashe county ya Nakuru gokwanera na kuringo ryo bokoreri bwabo egikarekyo nigokereire amatukane abwa asomo nogerwe bunge nene Moses Wetangula agendret kuraba bunge asekerenge kanene kyo mwakoyo kere securing parliamentary legacy, delivering the 5th session's agenda and preparing for transition. Bura bakwerera emambia ya bono asigikaro kyabaseri tukerigaria kabere ase ensemeyo ya Naivasha tigango turarigene naraliaya agendrete kurwaroro buna omonogeri gwe bunge nene agotwigurira asigikarekyo.
Honorable members, succeeding parliaments have over the years expanded the number of committees to facilitate effective oversight. The current 44 committees have been bestowed with far-reaching mandates. Unfortunately, we must admit that some of our committees are yet to fully and meaningfully actualize their mandates. For example, the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities Committee has a mandate that extends far beyond its perennial examination of employment practices in parastatals and state organs. While fairness in recruitment is important, such a committee must also address broader issues of national cohesion, inclusion, marginalization, ethnic harmony, and equal access to opportunities across the sectors of the society. A narrow interpretation of committee mandates diminishes their impact and effectiveness. Honorable members, permit me also to point out a few concerns with our budget-making process that, if addressed, will greatly assist us to effectively deliver on our mandate and continue to give our best to the citizens of this country. During the budget process, members place great emphasis on the estimates and numerical adjustments to the budget. Members' attention ought to be given to the underlying policy considerations that directly correspond to the estimates and figures. There's need to balance between the two. While proposing amendments to estimates, members should critically assess the broader impact of these decisions. Certain expenditure allocations are counterpart funding for critical projects, and reduction of such allocations may result in unintended adverse consequences, including loss of development funding for public projects.
Allow me to borrow from the words in the Holy Book, Psalms 133. Says, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And allow me to reiterate the power of collective intelligence, that when diverse voices are heard, independent judgment is respected and decisions are anchored in the common good. Institutions inevitably make wiser and more enduring choices. The strength of this house does not rest in any one member or any one individual, but in our collective resolve to deliberate with honesty, decide with prudence, and always act in the best interests of the people that we represent, the people of Kenya. Honorable members, this retreat therefore presents a timely platform for reflection, candid engagement, and consensus building on critical matters of concern to the Kenyan people.
Honorable members, we are gathered here for a critical reflection and planning under the theme Securing Parliamentary Legacy, Delivering the 5th Session Agenda, and Preparing for Transition. As we prepare to commence the 5th session of the 13th Parliament, our objective this morning is to establish a shared vision for the legislative and oversight priorities that will define our collective legacy. The decisions we make this week will not only shape the remainder of our term, but will also ensure a stable and effective transition for the institution of Parliament.
We have strengthened financing of our counties through the passage of the Division of Revenue Bill, enacted key legislation including the Finance Bill, the Conflict of Interest Bill, the Social Protection Bill of 2025. These interventions have sought to spur economic growth, promote integrity in public service, and enhance social safety nets. However, we must confront the harder questions. What has been our real impact on the lives of ordinary Kenyans? Have our interventions sufficiently addressed the rising cost of living and economic pressures facing households across the country? Equally, we must ask whether the laws we pass are being faithfully implemented and whether our oversight work is translating into tangible improvements in service delivery. Case in point being the decision we made on the EGP.
First, I want to appreciate the presentation that has been done. My concern is just about an amendment that maybe the Office of the Registrar of Political Party can try to help us do. Because you will realize that in most cases, Kenyans are having a problem with the independence of the parliament. And the problem starts with the political parties. Is there a way whereby, the Office of the Registrar do the amendments in the Political Parties Act that political parties should stop interfering with the arrangements of the parliament? Once the members of parliament are elected, they are given their own time to elect themselves amongst themselves. Like, for example, the issues of the committee, political parties should not have a way because it's one way. Like right now, you find like the chairman and vice chairman, they're having a lot of challenges. If now we are against any motion in the House, they are sanctioned. Be in the House at this time. We want to pass this. So there's a need for the political parties to help us amend the act.
Thank you. My point of view is the issue of political hygiene. Indeed, one of the greatest undoing of democracy in this country is just political hopping from one point to another. You have clearly said that a person cannot belong to coalition parties at the same time. I don't know what is your take in this mess we are hearing now, broad-based, whatever it is called. What's your take in this mess, this embarrassing mess that's really retarding democracy in this country? Finally, on the issue of political parties, I do believe now budgeting is in our good hands. We'll resolve that issue once and for all. Thank you. Chair budget, I am sure you have heard.
Gotikana na yabwatikana gakare kyo kyababunge tuligerelie yabwatikana kyama kya UDA omonene baba waziri boigomo waziri bwa mangana echinse Chesco Musalia Mudavadi igamirane n'ababwatani wetanye chimibere bye kyama kya UDA inse yomurubero umanyekane buna Musalia Powerhouse for Rutos eriogosira esabari yomurayi wense William Ruto kuboria oboraja sentunda ya kabere babwatani abo ligo baikeranire osenigo bakwanire meroberio egendera tokubekwa erigotinya ekyame kiwika binyoroime boigo kuri kyabo bwatani abange bosi wabochero bonene bo mwaka wechile fubera 2025.
Nimekuwa nikifuatilia pia vile mnazungumza yale mnasema, kwa hivyo nataka niwahimize muingie kwa chama cha UDA formally. Okay, kwa sababu ukisema unaenda kwa UDA alafu anasema urudi kwangu, ni labda kwa sababu kwa register yake ama ya chama hawajaona umekuwa registered. Lakini kama we ni registered kwa UDA, utakuwa ukisema nazungumza kama UDA. Hawezi tena kunituma nje. Nazungumza kama mwanachama wa UDA. So kama mtu yuko hapa ndani na haja formalize hiyo, ni vizuri mfanye hiyo registration kwa chama. Tuko hapa na National Vice Chairman wa UDA kitaifa, Bwana Lunani, wakati vunja ANC tukakuwa kitu kimoja na UDA, alafu akachukua Kelvin Lunani kuwa deputy vice chair wa kitaifa wa UDA, na Lunani alikuwa chair wa ANC, na wakachukua Mboko Milemba akakuwa deputy national secretary general. Okay, kwa hivyo hiyo structure kuna viongozi wetu watatu kwa national executive ya UDA. Mmoja wapo ndio huyu tuko na yeye hapa. Alafu wakachukua officers wengine ambao walikuwa wakifanya kwa secretariat, Umulo, Mungare, Margaret, kuna Meli, Fera, waka absorb hawa kwa secretariat yao. Kwa hivyo tuko na marafiki wetu ndani ya national executive ya UDA. Sawa. Jambo la tatu, nilisema kwamba tukienda mbele njia ni moja, tuungane tuwe kwa UDA, na nikatabiri mapema, nikaambia watu hivi karibuni mtaona hata chama cha ODM na wengine wakikaribia kuwa ndani ya serikali. Si nilisema hivyo mara nyingi sana? Imefanyika maji yafanyika. Sasa mimi nilikuwa na wapanga muwe mbele, hawa wengine wakija wapate mumekaa. Sasa wale wanapiga hodi na nyinyi mumekaa ndani. Nyinyi ndio mlikuwa watangulizi wa kuingia na kuungana na UDA. Sasa broad based inakuja na nyinyi tayari mlikuwa mmefanya nini? Mko ndani. Okay? Na sisi ni kuangalia mbele. Hatuwezi kuwa kama Lot kwa Biblia. Tena tunakeuka kuangalia pahali ambapo hii mambo mengine mliona kwa newspaper nini, muachane na hiyo. Sisi tulipitia kwa njia ya halali, ANC tukamalizana nayo, iko sawa, tukaangalia mbele. Hakuna mambo ya kuangalia nyuma tena, kwa sababu ukiangalia nyuma utafanya nini?
Utarudi nyuma.
Si hiyo ndio ujumbe wangu kwenu sasa? So message yetu ni kusema kwamba sisi tuliamua we go forward, no going back. Yeah? Na 2027 tufanye bidii, Mheshimiwa William Ruto apate ushindi.
Tuta.
Asanteni kwa kuchukua wito na kutafuta ndugu yenu. Nafikiri hata yeye mahali yuko anajisikia ya kwamba ana wale wanamhenzi na mmempa nguvu. Kitu ya kwanza ndani ya akili yetu tunataka tujue ya kwamba kitu inaitwa ANC haipo, ilifungwa na ni kaburi la sahau. Kitu cha pili ni kwamba sasa sisi kama tunataka kutafuta uongozi wa taifa hii ni lazima tuingie ndani ya UDA. Na kuingia ndani ya UDA si kwa maneno tu, ni lazima tuonyeshe kwa vitendo. Hivi vitendo ni lazima sisi wenyewe tuweze kujiandikisha, sisi wenyewe tuweze kurudi grassroots, tuweze kufanya nini? Kurecruit wanachama ama wafuasi. Kufika hapo tutakuwa tunaonyesha nguvu zetu ni gani. Kwa sababu siasa ni hesabu. Na siku hizi siasa imeanza kwenda scientific. Watu wanapiga hesabu. Mtu anakaa anasema nikichukua Narok inaweza balance na Laikipia. Ama nikichukua Laikipia inaweza balance na Kilifi. Kwa hivyo sisi nguvu zetu kumpa msali ya nguvu
ni lazima tujipange, tuone namba zetu kwanza hapa Nairobi zinaweza balance za kina nani.
Asense moyende erikwene kyobwaga chibwe chipara chinyana bwigo chire chinkoro chiasarikire korosigwa chire nakoba asebirengo byegoro county ya Machakos insi yo mugabara wa Vinyandeti nige county eyo yagorire chimashini nebiragite biya 10 byokurema chipara ase chiward chonsi ya merongere chie county eyo mugabana wa Vinyandeti kagokwana engaki yo kuigorera ebiragite byo bichakemeremo egatebere buna okoba wechipara nekyo gekwiriro burabuko bao naboigo amagendera guchaka kororekana aya masemo ikase county ya Machakos torari ryango na yagendera tukuru asensemeyo ase county yanyo lire biragita ebija 10.
My wonderful people of Machakos, and particularly Mutituni, where we are gathered, it is a beautiful day to witness progress in action. Today is not just about the smell of fresh diesel or the sight of heavy steel. It is about a promise kept. When I took office, I gave you my word, chakula mezani, pesa mfukoni. You cannot put food on the table if the farmer cannot reach the market. You cannot put money in your pocket if the trader is stuck in the mud. Roads are the veins of our economy. If they are blocked, the county cannot breathe. I promise that we will not just talk about wealth. We will build the foundation for it. My agenda to progressively build a strong and efficient road network has remained firmly on the course for the past 3 years despite the underlying challenges. We are coming to your ward and we are coming with quality. With the new equipment, we are now able to expand our capacity, ensuring more roads are motorable all year round. We have already partnered with the Kenya Roads Board, receiving crucial funds to upgrade 23 new roads across the county. Some of our flagship projects include completion of tarmacking of 5 kilometers of Katangi-Kilimani Road in Yatta.
Kwa majina naitwa Dominic Mutuku Mweu. Mimi ni mwanabiashara wa bodaboda. I have been in this sector for 5 years, since 2020. Barabara naweza sema ilikuwa kwa hali potofu, hakukuwa kunapitika vizuri, lakini angalau sasa barabara imekuwa sambamba sasa. Kizetu zilikuwa zinaharibika ovyo ovyo, na pia wateja tulikuwa tunashuhudia ajali kadhaa, lakini at least sasa tunaweza shuhudia, tunaweza congratulate our governor. She is doing a marvelous job.
Jina naitwa Mary Mbithe, mimi ni mkazi wa hii eneo. Tumekuwa na changamoto mingi. Sisi ni wakulima, tukipanda vitu zetu. Changamoto yenye tuko nayo ilikuwa ya barabara. Sasa hizi tumeona gavana wa Vinya amefanya vizuri kutuletea tingatinga. Bidhaa zetu zitabebwa vizuri na Mungu atubariki. Yaani ukabarikiwa mahali huko. Mungu Baba akuonekanie, tumeona wewe ni mwema. Ya shule hazikuwa zinafikika vizuri, hata kukinyesha makanisa sisi tulikuwa tunakaa kwa nyumba kwa sababu barabara zilikuwa mbaya sana. Kwa hivyo tunaona ni vizuri, umefanya vizuri kututengeneza barabara, tutakuwa tukisafiri vizuri.
Mimi upata mafuno. Hii mafuno zingine inakuwa challenge kwangu kwa vile nitapeleka kusokoni. Barabara yetu ilikuwa mbaya na imekuwa mbaya kweli kweli. Vile nimeona tingatinga leo kutoka kwa mheshimiwa Honorable wa Vinyandeti, nimesema Mungu asifiwe. kwa vile nimeona Mungu na vile mambo iko kuanzia leo watu wazaanza kufikiria mengi wa area hii kwa sababu umewaokoa. Vile wakilikuwa wana shida ya kutembea, nasema kwa ukweli mheshimiwa, watashukuru wewe, na ile response wataweza pata, ile malipo wanaweza fanya ni kukupatia second term uwe gavana wetu, na inakuwa ni 2 term. Kwa hivyo barikiwa sana mheshimiwa.
Asensemo yende kurwa ase county ya Machakos wikase county ya Nakuru abarai au kurwa ensemo ya Nakuru bakoragwa n'umurai w'abasubati kurwa ase county ya Yoliza Chelule bakubwatana n'ekiombe kya Wheels for World kurwa ensi ya UK nigo bakiramo na kwerekibuna abantu 15 bamenyete no barema banyorire ebirogo ase chinkwane cyabo nigo baburire abayibori besokie ose basokia abana babo abo bamenyete no barema erinde banyore obokonyi obwo.
Government of Kenya really appreciate what you are doing, taking care and protecting the less fortunate in any nation is a very costly exercise that we cannot be able to manage as a government. We really appreciate because through you became a strong bridge, then you have been able together with your church and the church leaders to connect us with UK, and we really appreciate what the UK is doing for the people of Kenya.
Tuweze kupeleka watoto wetu clinic. Tunapoenda clinic kama wamama, tunasaidia mambo ya vaccination, mambo ya polio, inaweza kusaidia iweze kureduce this menace. Kitu ingine ni mambo ya nutrition, kwa sababu watoto wanapokosa nutrition inaweza kuenda kwa mambo ya disability.
We want to mainstream the issue of people living with disability because we need to move with them. Elia kwamba kuna msimamo mkali sana kutoka kule county to the village. Iangaliwe kabisa na ihakikishwe kwamba hawa watu wako secured. Na tunaelewa kwamba kuna wale wamefichwa ndani ya manyumba. Ni kazi yetu kama wananchi wa Kenya kuhakikisha kama kuna mtoto ambaye amefichwa ndani ya nyumba, tafadhali tuhakikishe ametolewa nje ili aweze kupata masomo, wapate kila kitu ambaye wanahitaji. Hakuna kitu kingine itatufanya tuwe sawa isipokuwa neno la Mungu na mambo ya masomo.
If there is anything that is so difficult about disability, is the ability to be independent and be able to come where people are. Ability to move from point A to B makes the whole difference on whether you're going to live or die. I tell you, mobility brings independence. Mobility brings dignity. Mobility brings a new spirit of living. The rights, privileges, and opportunities. The challenge in my country is enforcement of the law. May I urge you, just get out of your way and enforce the law. Let no child be left behind because of their disability. Let nobody lose a job because you've become disabled along the way. The law does not allow that. For every road, let there be a walking, a wheelchair, a bicycle point. Let there be ramps. Let's just make our roads and our environment friendly. Make our doors wider so that my wheelchair can go through. Make our designs of buildings accessible.
And I want to tell you, those people living with disabilities, God has got a purpose for you the way you are. God has got a purpose. I want you to take yourself as very special people, and you always
Asensemo yende serikali nigo yagendere kubika omukio monene eri gusira abana inche obarase sector ya bene gwetera asomururi wa masomo oyumanyekanete buna prior learning program gukwana n'abarikia mangana kuru ase cyo bisi cyo Mombasa samagacho ahuru na kazi omurikio monene ase wizara y'abakora imirimo Shadrack Mwadime nigo atebirie usatebire no murubiri uyo nigo rengete ko konya abasaye babwate byego kurende batachieti chiskuru.
We want every young person out there to gain from the program that we have. And that is the reason why we have introduced recognition of prior learning, where in case one has some skills, some experiences, is already engaged in a certain business. It could be a mechanic, it could be a mason who is already constructing houses, it could be a beautician. Whatever skills that you have, we want to certify them. We give you, we issue you with a certificate after you go through a certain process, so that with the certificate you can gain employment both locally and abroad, and indeed even in the international labor market. We're already making arrangements with some foreign countries to absorb RPL graduates because of the experience that they have. And not only that, you will establish business in your clientele, in your clients, in that the skills you have been certified by the government. We have issued bulk SMSs in collaboration with Safaricom. We have sent out these SMSs to all the applicants of the RPL program, and they are quite a number. You will recall that initially when we advertised this Nyota program, we received about 40,000 applicants on RPL. But later on, when the president gave a directive to extend the period of application by about a month or two, by September last year, we had received 20,000 more. So in total, we are talking of nearly 68,000 applicants. The object as it is currently in this program is to certify 20,000, but we will not stop there. We will continue issuing out these certificates even after the end of the program that we have in partnership with the World Bank, because that is the mandate of the National Industrial Training Authority. So we have sent out bulk SMSs to these applicants so that they can turn up for awareness and screening. We sent out the first bulk SMSs last week on Tuesday. We sent a reminder on Thursday, and the final reminder was given on Saturday. The program as it is such that the awareness and screening will take place in all the 47 counties in the Republic of Kenya. And this is taking place from tomorrow, 27th. We have mobilized the staff who will do the screening from various TVETs to undertake it between 27th and 31st of January. Immediately after the screening, we'll undertake submission of POE, portfolio of evidence. We'll request the applicants then to give us the evidence. It could be pictorial or in whichever form, so that we can confirm that truly they have these skills. This will take place between 2nd and 6th of February. Then later on, we will have summative evaluation, the examinations that will take place, both oral and also written, but will not put a lot of emphasis also on written for those who dropped out, say in standards 1, and may have challenges with the same. We will see how we will ensure that we examine them even with the capacities that they have, so that eventually we can issue them with a certificate. So after the examination, we will release the summative assessment results on the 18th of February. So by 18th, one will know whether you are qualified to have a certificate or not. And then the distribution of the transcript will take place 5 days later on the 23rd of February 2026. And immediately after that, we will embark on printing the certificates so that they can be issued to these applicants. So in the entire Republic, every constituency in Kenya, in every constituency, there is a vocational training center that will carry out the screening and awareness. We've gone public about this. We have the entire schedule in the National Industrial Authority website, but we also have it in the website for the State Department of Labor and Skills Development, so that every Kenyan will know where the awareness and screening will take place. Anita has been allocated 229 million to undertake this exercise. But as I mentioned earlier on, the total number of young people who will be certified are 20,000, which is a pretty huge number, and it is across the board in the entire country. We've been as transparent as possible to ensure
Asensemo yende na ya bwatikaine n'abasaya barayiba basaye kuru ase university be county ya Machakos ni obachakiri mu rubiryo bwo kuru abasembigo kya sabasaye kwerikia buna bakikura bwosi bwo bachori bwo mwaka w'ekili 2025 nebere bakoragwa na Johnson Mundo nigo baruro kuboria gutia sabasaye kwera lipakeriga ekyobe KBC kendera tekorikia abakikura na kwerikia eriguchya gochora barayi baraleta monchereri ime yense.
Leo tuko hapa Machakos University. Tunafanya voter registration awareness for my youths as they also register, because tuko na IBC hapa ground. Na tunaaji kila Gen Z achukue kura na come 2027 we make the right decision. That is our movement. Na we are continuing it across Machakos County. All the vocational training centers tutazi approach. So we are targeting all the vulnerables actually. So sitakwambia number at 20,000, 30,000. No, actually we know we are so many in Machakos County. So we are targeting every Gen Z mwenye ako na ID na ana kura. That is our target. So this message is to all Gen Zs everywhere across Kenya, not just Machakos County. Flock these IBC institutions, grab your voters card. 2027, make the right decision. Kura yako ndio sauti yako. Tusishout tu one term.
This is an initiative that we thought of beginning it, and it is an initiative that we want to reach out to our comrades in our institutions, because we think that our comrades, being that the IBC registers voters from the IBC offices, some of them might not be knowing where the IBC offices are. Some of them might not get that opportunity reaching out to the IBC offices. But when we bring these initiatives to the institutions, we are able to reach out to all the comrades, to all the students who are in this institution. So my clarion call to all the other student leaders from the other institutions, it is that let us emulate what the student leaders in these Machakos town constituencies have begun of bringing the IEBC to the institutions, so that we can be able to reach to all the comrades, so that in 2027, all the comrades have a weapon to face the 10th of August 2027. Thank you.
So kwa majina mimi naitwa Ezekiel Mula Mutua from Kenya Institute of Social Sciences. So as wenzangu wamesema tuko hapa leo ku register comrades. So I'm just supporting and urging all the Gen Zs in Kenya wajitokezee to register as voters, so that come 2027 we make the right decision and choose the leaders that we want.
I'm a Machakos student. What I need to say is that a lot have been the die have been casted upon, and is now upon the youth to take the mantle on their hand as well. It's now us to go for it, not it for come, or we go harder on it, not to go softer as it before. We need change, and the change is just registration. All the change is now based upon us.
We are here today to register our comrades as voters. We urge all youths, comrades to come and take to be registered as a voter. We urge all, we want to change, not to talk. Our aim is to register all comrades, so that come 2027, we talk with as a registered voters, not about social media, about one term. Is about talking with a vote.
Oyo kabero mugabara bwe county ya Meru Kiraitu Murungi nigararire bene gwetia kurwase siasa erikwira chinga kyae kwebwatani nayande amange amangao. Kiraitu nigasoete asubura yo mwaka welfu ya mochimia kyanda merongo kyanda na ibire chinga kyachore tubuno mubunge asubiga beto mu waziri nsiobura ibwaye Mwai Kibaki. Omwaka w'echilfu ibire na 13 nigachore tubuno mo senator bwe county ya Meru no mwaka w'echilfu ibire na 15 na ibire naro agachora buno mugabara. Gitambukero kyae nigo kyae nigo gyo kwerusia ase siasa nigo kyairwa kwa boko no murgyoye Priscilla Murungi.
This is not about politics, and I even said I've retired from electoral politics, and this has broadened my mind. But now I'm in low temperature politics, and I find this intriguing and as interesting. Yeah, so even if you don't see me now singing on top of drugs and all that, yeah, I'm still thinking about democracy. We have now this year, as Bridget told you, embarked on a new program. We're introducing happiness at the workplace. The workplace happiness program, because people are spending most of their life at work. Your home is just a dormitory where you go to sleep at night. You are 8 hours during the day. If you spend your day there in a toxic environment, you are unhappy. It is true, I was very, very unhappy when I lost the elections. I thought I would win. Actually, every politician thinks they are going to win. They are very surprised when they lose. I think the chairman there can tell you. And then you have no plan B. So it comes, you are totally lost. There's something called post-election depression, which has not been properly highlighted even in scholarship. But we go through it. And for me, when I was in that space, that's when I started thinking about happiness, because I was very, very unhappy myself. And I came across this Happiness Studies Academy, during that period. And I took a 9-month course to study and understand happiness. And I came to discover I had no reason to be unhappy, because I had won so many elections. I had lost only one. So why am I not celebrating the ones I had won? And, spending my days mourning this only one, which aren't. So we don't count our blessings, and we are many. So the whole idea of positive psychology, which is the basis of the happiness studies, translate very much in our lives. And they said, we are looking for money, we are looking for prestige, we are looking for power. But why are you looking for those things? It is in the hope that at the end of it, you're going to be. And that's also the reason why we also go to heaven. You don't go to heaven because you are told that's a place of permanent happiness, isn't it? So your whole life. So happiness is a universal aspiration of every human being. And I think for lawyers, they can say happiness is a fundamental human right, for every person. Looking at the trends in democracy around the world, democracy is on retreat. The excitement people used to have about democracy, when it comes to implementation, I've been in politics now for more than 30 years. But the democracy we talk about in Nairobi is very, very different from the democracy in the village. Yeah, actually, there's there's a Cameroonian scholar, it's called Tata Mentan, who are saying the so-called celebration of democracy in Africa is a mere celebration of money. It is not a celebration of democracy. And he said that money has become the mammon. So democracy is a worship of mammon in Africa. And they say even if you see crowds and all that, that's not democracy. They are there celebrating different things from what you people think, they are celebrating.
Even though he lost the elections for 2022, the people who are the losers are not him. It is the people of Meru. Now they keep coming to tell him, oh, you know, we miss you. You know, in a couple of lituwekea tu ndio tunaona. You know, only those bows you left which are there. So you tell them you made your choice. So I'm here hoping that maybe he has done his part for the public service as far as elective politics is concerned. But me, I want to appreciate him because of all the hard work that he has done for Kenya, for the people of South Imenti, and for Meru. Can you give him a big clap?
Ase ensemo yendo mwanchomo rigereria ose gwikira gabuno to gwikira omwerio ase ensemo intangania emambia ya bono ekerokeria bono tokora asiumire chiduka na baadaye ningirande na yande amange toskare kurwase etibiago ya Ensoko TV oburoso bwomugusi no muroberio Etorobini Jumatano.
Eye Ensoko TV oburoso bwomugusi. Chomano Nairobi, Kisii, Nyamira, Nechingongo chinde chense ya Kenya. Abari kibaitomba bakorentera mangana magia asenchira yobuikirano. Emanya mange na boigo bwatra Ensoko TV koigeka chingenjo chomugusi. Ensoko TV oburoso bwomugusi.
Asokoria gokogokia kogosemia nabo igogo komanya ali akorekanire kurwa chinsemo chia Kenya
kurwa sensemo ya siasa chisemi obonchoreria amaganio ali akubwatira ne obugima bwa botambe bwa mwanya bantu ogonzi ko batogosanga asensemo yeringana rieke moya mwancho murigeria koria komanya mangana yeke gusi abego chingecho chia
umerana na inche Frida Kerubo
na inche Clinton Ondigi
tokomanye asemesa ya maya ali akorekanire kurwa ase chinsemecho kera litukoria Jumatano enseyamo ya mogoroba na boigo chinsa isato. Eye Ensoko TV oboroso bwomugusi.
Obugima n'orugendo rubwa tamange amaya namabe Omusa Kitolinet Nyambane niga ngaririe imena isiko ya gusi na gusanga naba ya eteire naba kuyaetera.
Nchekera na ibole twe unango tebiwa na ibole tukinde buya ngakina kinde buya ekera na chiko ikemia kasta ngachaka udiferpo uira samagoro wane kamanya gutokanga atwali roba ona wacha gitego
aya nime yo murobyo bumwenori kirali tukule Jumatano chinsa ibiri chabutuko imeya Ensoko TV oboroso bwomugusi
omwancho muri Ensoko TV
igetaseni Ensoko TV ibwatira senge chao
kokoretera amangana amaya
ayatabwati gwanchero ko rwonsi korime yagusi na isiko yagusi
to kubekera tene ni anyare ko bakawateka
atabwati gwanchiro monda bwensi
korwase ebunge ya kitutu chache South Meye County ya Kisii elietariane Caroline Mausa
korwe county ya Nyamira elietara Nyarike Steven Embonde
korwase county ya Kisii elietariane Wycliffe Orenge
mera na inche Dominic Onderi Nyabuto ekera yago koreta mangana amaye ko ritukira Jumatatu bakari tukira Jumapili
jeni gongoro ko petuel machin na nyora Etorobini Ensoko TV oboroso bwomugusi
kera kama tingatara daike taoni ya Nyamira na rena shauri sangwe ngararo moijano umotu batera mabwari
Murigereri Ensoko TV oyo no moroberio gwokongoria mareko na inje mwana mboka Eru Nyang'au
turabe tukumira na kira ritukurie iki guchakira chinsa 11 chamogoroba wikenseyemo yabotuko tugwakorire imirimo yawe yerituko kwabukire orosete uikaransitero ya ubwe andajita sekerugo oramburete merondo kunyagusibero ngori naria seskrini ne chingero chikoleto na manambuka Edwin Nyang'au ano to konyora chingero chionsi echiegita na chobenga kwa nubukano echiembegetere ndo songengo to ameriria
Bakalia omoto yakabwatwa obe bakalia omoto yakabwatwa amatukemero ngena gaika kabwatwa
Mwanchi murigereria ntobe tugwikirana ase chichiro ase tokumurekera ng'aki ebimeri bikorwa ase megondo nabo igwa kugwikira aye omwanchi omurigereria ntobe tokurigereria amagori yebimeri guna chinyanya amatoke amarabuani nebinde ebinge igo toskato nyegera gende gotengera egetaseni ya Ensoko TV obona buboroso obomogusi Eliane Kego Frida Ine asama kiaya mbireo seino mbireo asama tuko amaega obugima bwakira lituko bwomogusi nigo bwale gosirwa nobolemi likomera liburga lisamora byonsi asekerenga yokobeka ase ekiage ekemo ningi keire libaga likiage asenka yomogusi no bonchereria no borokia no bonyanyimbo gose no bwagachi asomoroberio wikiage kyomogusi nobe bokomerana na inche Frida Kerbo kera litkoria ijuma chinsa ibere chamugoroba astogo sanga no mugusi korwa chingongo elio kumanya naki bakonyorera engere yabo ya kera litko tomocha
ase miziki yabagaka eli abantu bakonga kongire chinengo chacha kiri kuchoga ya rumba naboigo ntokwe babasai aba bakulwa jijenzi emisiki ekogenda bwange bwate chia talaku
le général Dangote anaweka oye mose kunambi orikado momo oye mama Dangote
netabiane Edwin Nyang'au Edwin mwana mboka nzube ya bololo tumerane kila litukulia Jumamosi kati ya saa 10 uweka ensa AM
Eye Ensoko TV oboroso bumugusi
Karibu na ndo mwanchu murigeria asensemo yende yakabira somurobiro yiga bwe Etorobini mambia bona sokwendera kumurikana yagendere tugokorekana ayamase mogwika ase omuchie onaivasha gusasa ensemo yebunge ya Naivasha mye county ya Nakuru abwase ababunge bagendere tenege karokeri tuko lya kabere ase bagendere kurigereria nabo kuringoria bokoreri bwabo ase egeka ekega babere asobura ibo mwaka bwe 2022 gwiko mwaka bwe 2025 na ebere abwase tukotamboka iturigerina naraliaya agendere tokorekana kurwase ensemeyo ase gwikira bori bura tugokwana omuraibwa banke ase bunge enene umanyikere muna Kimani Ishungwa nere ogendere tukurwe nkwana yae ase emambie yega nabwo karake nigo omuwaziri w'ekisemi Julius Bigosio gamba nere aikira nabwo asarwa enkwana yae korene enkwana iyo ekikogokera badaye ase boro yango turaliena naraliaya Kimani Ishungwa agendere tukukwanira ase ensemeyo ya Naivasha ase gikarekyo kegenderete.
The burden of infrastructure funds lies squarely within the Committee in Parliament of Education. That is where inequity comes in. Let us just be honest with each other. And the minister has been clear, the deficit that is there in the ministry. Again, it is this house that appropriates money. You told us, minister, you have a deficit of 42 billion, 48 billion. I wanted you to clarify and disabuse the notion, because there are some people who are telling us that if you took all the money from NGCDF, it would sort out the problems in the Ministry of Education. If on average I take 30 million shillings from 290 constituencies, that is only 8.7 billion shillings. Does it solve your problem? And that is what CS, you should be telling this house, that it is up to the Committee on Education and the Budget Committee to make sure that you have adequate funds, then make sure there is equitable distribution. The chair education cannot be telling us that if you take that money to NGCDF, we will solve the problem. I do not need infrastructure money in my constituency. But Honorable Soro here with 78 schools needs more money than me. So you will give him money that I will not need. That's why I said you are making a political statement. To my question, CS, uniform and lunch programs. That is a bedrock of corruption in your schools. And another thing you call desks and lockers. We provide desks through NGCDF. Last week I went to a school in my constituency that has only 189 students. That school has 28 teachers. I had given them 150 desks through NGCDF a year ago. They were asking me for another 50 desks. And I told them I will not give you unless you show me a grade 9 student who went home with a desk. The desks are lumped up in a store somewhere. You give those teachers money for maintenance. They don't use that money and nobody takes note of it. You do not have school inspectors who are doing anything on the ground. It is these members of parliament who have become school inspectors, and you should not subject members of parliament to become school inspectors. The same rationalization you're talking about with TSC. Let me tell you, CS, there is no rationalization that is going on. And I've heard you saying in your PS that it is likely some day schools are going to close because of the challenge you have said of the next 3 years after Form 3 and Form 4 clear. The next 3 years after Form 3 and Form 4 clear, those schools will close. And that rationalization, you must make it a reality. TSC is not doing what they ought to be doing in terms of rationalization of teachers. Teachers harass these MPs left, right, and center because every teacher in this country wants to go back to their village to teach in their village. We must decide as a country whether we want to make politics out of education and make everybody happy or do the right thing for our children. Because why would a school with 100 students have 28 teachers and the school next door has 600 students without teachers and you have a county director of education in that sub-county? Those are the issues, yes. Because yourself and your PS, you have the most clueless PS in the Ministry of Education. Most clueless. He only sits in Nairobi and has no idea what goes on the ground. Get out of your offices in Nairobi, go to the ground, deal with the problems there. Then challenge this house, then to get the 48 billion shillings for you from the budget, and we'll deal with the problem once and for all. Otherwise, what we are doing here now is dancing around issues.
Thank you.
You have danced around the issue of uniform and the circular for school fees. We cannot legislate on school fees. We cannot. You cannot put school fees in a statute. What you should do is tomorrow, CS, you have the powers as a cabinet secretary to gazette. Go and gazette the school fees that ought to be there. When you bring the basic education amendment, we will now be referring to the CS gazetting. But we cannot put school fees in a law. The same thing with uniform and lunch programs. I told you that is a bedrock of corruption in schools. Where are some schools, I see some schools, and I'm referring to my own constituency, and these members will tell you it is the same in their constituencies. You will go and find a school that charges 3,000, for a lunch program. You will find another one charging 8,000, 9,000. And they're in the same locality. Yeah? Under your ministry, you have the school feeding program. Why don't you get the resources from the school feeding program to ensure there is food in the schools and also gazette the maximum amount that should be charged in a school for the lunch program? You have no reason for a grade 6 student in Kikuyu Township Primary School to be wearing a uniform like the one I'm wearing, then because they are moving to grade 7 to go and change uniform. What happens in other civilized countries is that people just put on a different tie or a badge on your chest that will cost you 5 or 10 shillings. Why are we subjecting teachers to changing uniform, feeding the corruption cartels by teachers and head teachers in our schools with the cartels that are producing uniform? And that is why CS, it took none other than the president to intervene on the matter of school uniform. You should not subject the president to be the one to be intervening on school uniform. It is you and your peers who should be doing that.
Number 2.
Thank you.
Order.
Thank you.
I gave your leader a latitude to make that positive remark. The rest, one question or one comment each. Remember, go ahead.
The CS appearing before the Committee of Education in a meeting that I was lucky to attend last year did promise that he will give the list of the schools that had benefited from infrastructure in the following week. Honorable Speaker, the CS appearing in Parliament when we did call him over the issue of capitation in schools did indicate further that he'll give that list the following week. Today, the CS has gone ahead to indicate that he's going to give the list. Honorable Speaker, I'm seeing a consistent gap of avoiding to give the list to the honorable members. Honorable Speaker, the CS says he does not know the amount required to educate a child from the lower grades to the senior grades, and is doing nothing about it, and is mixing that cost of education for one child with the funding that comes from CDF, donors, and other people. I would wish the CS goes back there, because even the Muriel-led commission that is talking about, which brought out 15,000, must be in his office, and the PS is having the details of how 15 was arrived to and 14 was arrived to.
What is your question?
My question is, back to what one honorable said. What is the cost of educating a child? So that Parliament can budget, so that the executive can budget. Thank you. That's a question that he can never run away from.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Waziri. My question is, of course, our majority leader has covered the better part of what I had in mind, but as he gazettes, as the Waziri gazettes, I would want him to be clear on the fees for the day schools and what percentage the ministry is putting in. Again, the other thing is we have a huge number of girls dropping out as a result of teenage pregnancy. It has now moved to 15%. That is becoming a real hindrance to girl child. Can the minister tell us what they have in place?
Number 4.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, when there was a change of policy of placing grade 9 in junior school instead of senior school, there was a discrepancy in planning because a lot of work had been done in senior schools. The result is now we have empty classes in senior school, and there are no classes for grade 9 in junior schools where they are. Has the ministry done serious survey and harmonization to find out which schools have empty classes and which primary junior schools need classes for grade 9? And in circumstances where the schools are close together, is it possible to use the empty classes in senior schools by grade 9 in junior schools? Thank you.
Next.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to ask this House to go back to the day you saw Harold Kipchumba Kimoge.
Okay.
I want us to go back to the day we saw a child return back from Lenana School. Let's think about it. Waziri, what steps is the ministry taking to facilitate the full participation of learners with different abilities in academic and non-academic and non-academic programs, having in mind that we have many children with neurodivergency. Unlike my time when I was in school, majority of us were just physically handicapped. What happens to the children that have autism, that have intellectual disorders? As you cluster, where do you cluster that group of children? Thank you.
Next.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, niruhusu nimuulize waziri.
Is it Mbeyo or Madenge? Both of you are up.
It's me.
Then Mbeyo, then come to Madenge. What was your number? Number 10. It matters. We are on number 6. Who was number 6?
Number 6.
Madenge. Madenge, you are rigging. I'm told it's Mbeyu, then Omar, then Katana, then Orero, then Wambilianga, then Kogoyo.
Mr. Speaker, they had her call me out.
Jina yako haiko, si ukae.
Madenge, I'll give you the next slot, on the next round. Mbeyu, ask your question.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, niruhusu niulize waziri Migosi swali hili na maelezo kamili. Mheshimiwa Speaker, waziri ameruhusu shule za mabweni, walimu wakuu kufungua maduka ya jumla katika shule zao wakati huu wa watoto wa grade 10 kwenda shule. Nitaeleza Mheshimiwa Speaker, ada za shule, fees ziko juu. Zile vitu tunanunua kama wazazi, watoto waende hizi shule za mabweni, zinagharimu zaidi ya 50,000. Mbali na ile ada ya 22,884 ya muhula wa kwanza. Mheshimiwa Speaker, walimu hawa wakuu wameweka vitu, mattresses, bed sheet, ndoo zinanunuliwa pale shule kwa gharama ya juu. Tumechoka waziri. Walimu wako wakuu wamefanya biashara kubwa sana wakati huu watoto hawa wa grade 10 kwenda kuripoti shule. Tunataka life audit ya walimu wakuu. Walimu wako wakuu, mijengo mingi inafadhiliwa na wabunge hawa na pesa za NGCDF. Mheshimiwa Speaker, utapata katika zile ada zao za kulipa shule kuna pesa za ziada kulipia mijengo. Niko na shule moja kule Kilifi. Mtoto maskini, hana baba hana mama. Nimemchukua, nimelipa hii ada yote 22,884. Nimefanya shopping yote ya nje na ndani ya shule zaidi ya 50,000. Nimewekewa deni ya 12,000 kuna kulipia dining hall, conference hall. Swali ni kuwa kwa nini ameruhusu walimu kufanya biashara kwa watoto maskini, wazazi maskini wa Kenya? Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Omar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine is to crown what my colleagues have been talking about. And this is about uniform and the certificates which the principals are refusing to give to the students after a government directive. So when we leave this place, Mr. Speaker, we want these two issues to be resolved today, and henceforth there should be no such cries again. Second, it's about the fair distribution of resources.
Omar Mwinyi.
No.
When you start saying second, you are violating my direction.
Okay. One, I'm now beginning. One. Mr. Speaker, we would like, when you leave this place, to be assured that when we open Parliament, the list of how the funds for the infrastructure have been distributed nationally for the last 10 years, we want to be guaranteed that that list will be in the House before we open this session.
Thanks.
The last one, Mr. Speaker, is about the pork barrel issue, if you can remember. There was a budget committee of Parliament which brought about pork barrel, and it was seen to be something that was bad, and that committee was dissolved. Hearing what members are talking about here, it appears that the Committee on Education has failed us, and we need a complete overhaul so that we can begin a new chapter, Mr. Speaker. I want members here to say aye if you're supporting me. Who are supporting me?
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Omar. You have no capacity to put the question. Orero.
Katana.
Orero.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I'm number 8, Speaker. Katana.
Is Katana, sorry, yes. Katana
yes.
first.
Asante, Bwana Speaker. Waziri, wazazi wanagharamika kulipa karo za shule. Na sisi kama wabunge pia tunasukuma kulipa karo za shule. Lakini kuna hili janamizi linaitwa remedial fees. Watoto wanafukuzwa kila uchao. Mzazi amelipa karo yote ya shule, lakini mwalimu mkuu na wale wanaohusika pale shule wanafukuzwa watoto kila uchao, warudi nyumbani hawasomi. Unatarajia vipi hawa watoto wapite mitihani yao? Tunataka kauli yako kama waziri na wizara. Je, mumehalalisha haya mambo ya remedial ama ni nini? Tunataka kujua kuanzia leo kama hiyo remedial is part of the school fees ama sivyo. Asante sana, Bwana Speaker.
Orero.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is sad that the CS can come to these honorable members and lie that the ministry disburses 22,204 as a capitation to schools. I would want the CS to tell this House, when was the last time the ministry disbursed 22,000 shillings to any school in this country? And when the capitations of this year came to schools, were they to pay the debts for last year or for this term? And how much was to pay the debts for last year, and how much is for this term? And what is remaining for this term? Thank you.
Wabilianga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question goes to the CS on JSS and the schools and the operation. The JSS are teachers who teach in the lower secondary, but they are best in the primary. Is it possible for the ministry to develop a distinct plan for the running of these JSS teachers for sports and co-curricular activities where they can manage themselves and be in control? It is very clear that running some of these sports, especially at primary level, there's a challenge for these teachers. And basically, again, the learning activities require special facilities that are lacking in some of these primary schools. that is the JSS. They lack laboratories, technology, computers, and even some of the teachers are lacking. Is it possible that the ministry does something so that the teachers in this lower cadre have their own autonomous, they are autonomous in running their activities? Thank you so much.
Kangoko, is it Kangoko?
Yes, yes, Honorable Speaker. My question to the Honorable Cabinet Secretary is about the security of the teachers, Honorable Speaker, especially our teachers who are in the northern Kenya. Mr. Speaker, in the recent past, we have lost so many teachers in the northern Kenya. Mr. Speaker, last week, we also lost a teacher. And Mr. Speaker, as we speak, there are so many teachers who have expressed a fear of their lives in the northern Kenya. What is the ministry doing to make sure that the lives of those teachers are safe? Because, Mr. Speaker, in our constitution, the right of life comes first before even the right of education. And then, Mr.
Thank
Speaker,
you. It's not called the right of life, it's called the right to life.
to life, exactly, Mr. Speaker. And the last, Honorable CS, what is the role of sponsors in schools? Because the so-called sponsors, the charges, Mr. Speaker, they have held the schools on ransom in the name of sponsorship, and they are not providing anything to those schools.
Thank you. Madenge, I'll give you the bonus on this cohort.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. CS, when you presented the placement of our candidates in the 4 clusters, C1 took only 10% of the Kenyan children, admitted 10%, C2, 23%, C3, 31%, C4, which are our day schools,
Eye n'Ensoko TV oboroso bw'umugusi amaroyo nigagendrete gotose mwana boire bukia tali Yesu sera ekegonko esukari lisabeso okurasa kwa manyinga yan blood pressure ninki turakole wetanga kuruwa nyoshibu somurobelyo bubugima nobo cheno asora bigukumeni wanabanyegitari bamaruire ao nabo yabamanyi bande bayatunge tyobo chenu kumurikira maruire nobo wenia nyoro murobelyo bubugima nobo chenu na Caroline Mausa kirali tukule Jumatatu chinsa ibiri chabutuko ime Ensoko TV obuso umugusi Tomu chako tengere merobele ito yoko semia na kukumanya yako kolekana kila lituko nabariki baitu be andrete chinga kichons asingincho yao ealiganie asobo tengali botali nomubwekano Kurumucho manu Nairobi Kisii Nyamira nechingongo chindi chense ya Kenya abariki baitumba bakorentera mangana magia asenchira y'ubwikirano emanya mange no bwatira n'Ensoko TV koigeka chingenjo cy'omugusi Ensoko TV oboroso bw'umugusi Eye n'Ensoko TV oboroso bw'umugusi
Karibu na ndo mwanchumo rigeria maiga yuko rigeria yagendere tukura sensemo ya Naivasha kwiranira asensemo yenda barwaniri bobo ene kurwa sorgongo rwa Western Kenya nigo barwo kuburi guchiase omuraibwense Dr. William Samuel Ruto kubuno boteneneri we University ya Masinde Mulero asenge nchi burayi yobobe obogenderete kwene kiwakorengana na barabo asenkwana yabo nigo baragire egecharo boteneneri yobone we University yo asamangana mono ayabwatikaine no bwasyo ku abakori emirimo kogosererwa na boigo goika abandi kubutwa emirimo buna bakwerera emambia yabono.
People's power, our power. Our power, people's power. People's power, our power. Our power, people's power.
State organs are being used to systematically harass a few members of staff and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Solomon Shivairo. A matter that has been prosecuted using internal university mechanism has found its way at the DCI and also at the EACC offices. The reason for all this is that the university is approaching a transition stage for both the University Council and also for top university leadership, including the Vice Chancellor. This well-orchestrated scheme is intended not only to hound Professor Shivairo, the Vice Chancellor, out of office, but also to ensure his integrity as a public officer is tainted. It is sadly noted that staff sacking, threats and harassment is the order of the day. Some of the staff have fallen victim to this and their dependents have died out of frustration.
Sisi tuko na universities ambazo ni chache sana katika maeneo yote ya Kenya. Na tukianza kuachilia universities zetu zianguke, watoto wetu watakosa mahali pa kwenda katika maeneo yetu. Biashara zetu zitaanguka. Kwa hivyo hatutaruhusu. Na tunataka tuseme hii wazi wazi that within 7 days we will start initiating processes and mechanism to ensure that if these issues are not amicably addressed conclusively, we are not going to entertain such things. We will come in large numbers and we will also register. We will register our voices as given in the Constitution of Kenya.
Rais atusaidie hii maendeleo ya hii university iendelee tu isiporomoke. Kama vile Moi imeporomoka, watoto wetu wako huko wanasoma, badala wamalize shule, wanaendelea tu kukaa hapo shuleni, hatujui watamaliza siku gani. So must isikue hivyo kwa sababu watoto wetu wenye wako karibu, wenye hawezi enda mbali, wanasomea hapa. Hatuhangaiki watoto wetu kwenda mbali, wenye wazazi wenye wajiwezi, watukupeleka watoto wao shule za mbali. Kwa majina ni Judith Akumu, mimi naomba mtuachie tu university yetu Masinde Muliro. Hiyo ndio inatupatia biashara, ndio inafanya watoto wetu wanakula, wanasoma. So tafadhali kama kuna any issue mko nazo, tumupeleke mbali, mtuachie tu university yetu, ndio inafanya tunafanya biashara, tunaendelea nayo, tunakula, tunasomesha nao watoto. Msituharibie, hiyo ndio tunategemea peke yake hapa Kakamega, hakuna ingine.
Asensemo yende tukotigarase orogongo ro Western Kenya abamenye kurwase county ya Bungoma nigo baruro kubori guchia sabarai bakubori ibirogo byoborai asobo chori obonene bwo mwaka gwe 2025 nebere gokora siasa asenchira irendo ngera boigo gwe yatanana kurwase ayago turbanyo morembe abamenye abo nigo boigo baruro kubori guchia sabana siasa koerera alia barachigwekirania engaki barachikonyora ibirogo byoborai.
Tunataraji kujitayarisha haswa wanasiasa, nao ni watoto wetu. 2027 tunahitaji kura ipigwe kwa amani. Hata ukija sasa hivi watu wameanza kuuza sera. Hebu sema sera zako na kile utafanyia wananchi. Usije kwa ground na kuweza kukejeli yule ambaye ako mamlakani, ako katika kiti kwamba hajafanya hii. Hiyo ni kama ni kuchochea watoto wetu wainuke na hasira na ukaweze kuinua vita katikati yetu.
Sisi kama wanaharakati katika Mount Elgon, especially katika Bungoma County, tunataka kuomba NGOs ambazo siku Kenya hii ianze kumulika Bungoma, tuanze kuongea na watoto wetu, tuanze kuwafundisha haswa wale wako katika WhatsApp na Twitter na Instagram. Tunaona maneno ambayo inaendelea hapo si mazuri. Wanatusiana na viongozi watoto wengine. Tuwe na heshima. kwa maana Kenya hii ni yetu.
Mwaka mpya umeanza, mahali Mbukusu ulipo, tunataka tusafishe masafu kaunti zote, na tutaenda kuona mzee yupi ambaye anaweza kuleta amani mahali. Maana hawa wazee waliambiwa katika katiba ya kwamba ni wale wanaleta amani, si wanasiasa. Lakini wale wanaoleta amani wakiona mfurukano mahali popote, na mzee huyu akitokezea, atapanda amani. Tunataka amani katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Hatutaki mfurukano, tunataka amani. Hata wakati kura zinakuja hivi, kura sipikwe kwa njia ya amani. Omba kiti kwa njia ya amani. Usiombe kiti kupikana. Kupikana hakusaidii chochote. Asanteni.
Sisi wazee Council of Elders, bile tulianza hivyo, tukakaa chini, tukasema China ya Masinde Muliro ijulikane. Tukaenda huko tuandike China ya Masinde Muliro huko stadium, tukakuta imeusiwa. Wakasema kiwanja ndege imeusiwa, kiwanja ya hospitali imeusiwa. Tukakaa chini kama Council of Elders. Ndio mimi nasi maneno ya kiwanja ndege ambayo inasungumuzwa, MPs na wanasiasa ambao wako mbele, msijaribu kuleta sifa mbaya kwa Mungu, na Mungu ataona. Akiona vibaya, hata wewe ukiwa nani utapaki tu. Mheshimu wazee, bila walipikana wakaleta hii vitu tatu, sijui tutasema nini. Sasa wazee Council of Elders, tukae chini, tuchakue mtoto, ndio tunaweka mkono wa baraka. Hatutaki mtu
Asensemu yende gwika ase county ya Nakuru chiburaburu nigo charekanire koba egatia bamenye kuru asensemu ya Njoro ime county ya Nakuru asebakubuna oboremo bwa Mudhera Farm obubore chieka wetani chimilioni inye abanyanyimbo bayikiranire ase chiburaburu echo nigo banyorire chinga kichinkongu gokeania chiburaburu echo karokeria tokoliria aliagendera tokuru asensemu ejo.
For what purpose? Na mimi siko kwa mtu. Hapa ni kwetu pia. Na basi msikuje mali niko, mwende mfanye shughuli zenu. So that even if we kesha tukisema tunagawa shamba tukose kutogawa, will there be a public road? It will be there.
Yes, there is a public road.
Yes, it will be there. Yeah. After the community has been watu wangea tuseme kwamba tunataka hapa na hapa, utanyima community. You cannot. So why are you opposing something which you don't know? Mimi je nimemwenjo umenituma hapa. I've insulted me to come here. Na umekuja kuniuliza nini? Na mimi nakuuliza shamba yangu mnataka kutoa mtaro ya nini? Iko wapi hiyo shamba tumetoa mtaro? Iko wapi? Kutoka from where? You do this fanya namna hivi. Ngoja kazi rais namna hivi. Mimi wewe utasimama na msimamo wako vile umesema ya kwamba hapa sitaki kae namna hivi. Mimi nitasimama na msimamo wangu ya kwamba nimekuja kufanya kitu fulani. Now tuingiane, mwenye atafaulu habaki vile imekuwa miaka 50 zilizopita. Tupite kwa nini?
Tumesema shamba ni yetu, hawezi karibiwa. Shamba ni yetu. Sawa. Ifanyike hivyo. Shamba ni yetu, kuna siku moja atakapwa.
Hakuna.
Naitwa William Boy. Mimi ninashangaa kwa hii shamba ya Mudhera. Since is independent, hadi wa leo sisi tunasasana na familia ya Kwenage. Mimi nashangaa hawa broker. Na hii tinga inaletwa saa hii inatengeneza barabara. Sisi wenyewe hatuna barabara. Ukipita hii media yenye mmepita hata sio si barabara na wanasema wanatengeneza barabara. Sisi tunaomba corruption isimame Mudhera. Maana sasa security haifanyi kazi. Why? Mbona watu wa Lokurto wanatoka huko kukuja kuharass familia ya Mboe na sisi hatusumbuani na watu wa Narok, tunasumbuana na watu wako Nakuru. Tunaomba kwa amani na tunaomba serikali ya Kenya wachunguze corruption yenye inaendelea kwa Lokurto na Njoro. kwa sababu tumeteswa sana. Wazazi wetu wanarahasiwa, hakuna kulala nyumbani, wanatoroka usiku na mchana, watoto hawalali kwa sababu ya corruption ya pesa yenye inapeanwa na brokers kufungua familia usiku na mchana.
Asa nsemo yende gwikase county ya Siaya nigo mubaro mokebu aborokiwa babwendete gosoa ase grade kirige 10 ogendrete gokeanigwa ase ogendrete okea chinsemo aime county ya Siaya na nyomra ibwense William Ruto korwa ogochika buna aborokiwa abo bagenda ase eskuru na batwara chibesa uniform gose nonya tibabwati ebitabu abwase gwikabono aborokiwa basinyure kogenda ase chiskuru barangeria korengana buna bateneri be chiskuru ao bakwerera emambia ya bonega kurwa se county eyo ya Siaya.
This is Kabura Secondary School, of which I am the principal. My name is Ben Ochieng. We have not yet received our number of grade 10 learners. So far, we have only received 4 students, compared to what we expect as 70 students for grade 10. I feel that the parents and the members of the community would be well provided for if they brought their students to Kabura Secondary School, because we have facilities. Our facilities are adequate for STEM pathway and also for social sciences pathway. We have space, we have the required number of resources to provide for STEM and the social sciences pathways. Sometimes I think maybe the parents may be holding down out because they feel that we may not accept them when they don't have fees, but we have already waived the need for paying fee for now, as directed to us by the government, and they are free to bring their students, their children to Kabura Secondary School, where we will accept them, admit them, and also teach them with the required standards as in other schools. Yes, I feel that sometimes the parents may be a little biased with feeling that they want to take their students to other schools where they feel the students may do better. But under this system, remember, it is not necessarily learning to go to university. We are teaching the students, provide them necessary skills that is going to be important for them in the future. Now, these skills would be well provided for in a school near your home and a school that has these facilities. Now, when a school like ours, Kabura, is provided with students at a capitation of 70, but even if we get students, 20 students, the teacher-student ratio is favoring this kind of system. This system is where a teacher-student ratio should be one that requires very much interaction between the student and the learner. So when I have a class of 20, then the interaction between the teacher and the student would favor the learning of this in this kind of system.
I'm Dixon Odhiambo. I'm currently the principal of Mahero School. I came this year, and so far we have admitted 4 girls and 1 boy. We still hope to get more students. I know as time progresses, and possibly as the nature of most of the day school, especially the small day schools, they normally admit students after others have sieved. So the remnants, we are hoping to admit. Our area MP promised that he shall work to ensure that the day school fees is reduced below 10,000. So we are very hopeful that before the end of the term, we shall get a number of students. And possibly I'll appeal to the government to reconsider their funding model the small schools should actually first of all, get a base, financial base before considering the number. Because there are certain things that, however, the number is very small, but they need to be there. The nature of employees, there are certain number that we need to have. The nature of the facilities in the school, there are basic materials that we need to have, which does not necessarily depend on the number of students. So I'm appealing to the government to ensure that the funding of small schools has certain bare minimum amount first before considering the total the number of students. We have met parents before. When we were opening, we called some parents, we talked to them, but still I'm appealing to them that Mahero is opened. The gate is opened.
Frederick Ojuang, Deputy Principal, Muir Boys Senior School. This year we were located about 135 students. So far we've received only 35. We still have a deficit of over 100 students. We have space, and we urge the community from around to bring us students. Mwera has been doing well, even with the national exams, and we strive to do well. We feel that we have what it takes to give these students the very best. We have very committed teachers, and you can even see when you went into class, they are busy with the students. So we appeal to the parents to bring students, and we would also want to urge the ministry if they can find a way of bringing us more students. We would also like to thank the Alumni Association. They have really helped the school.
Asense moyende aya gendret kuru asense meri nyombo yobora igwense erigo tinyo bokorari bwebigambire meyense nigemambia yabono abara chibi na 15 batianibwa senyumbe na yobora igwense so muchoyo Nairobi abwaso muri igwense Dr. William Samuel Ruto araire omuroberi oyo egati abara chibi na abo ngamura Ahmed Isaac Hassan Katwe Kigeri Chacha Mwita, Lady Justice Hedwig Ongundi, Justice Mathias Nderi, Lady Justice Linet Mumo Ndolo, Lady Justice Lucy Njuguna, alafu Samson Odhiambo Kongo, amo na boigo Rachel Ngetich. Aburegatia yabari batia niwe mambia yabono.
Judge of the Court of Appeal, to swear in the name of the Almighty God, to diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya, and to impartially do justice in accordance with this Constitution, as by law established, and the laws and customs of the Republic, without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. In the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to me, I will at all times, and to the best of my knowledge and ability, protect, administer, and defend this Constitution with a view to upholding the dignity and the respect for the judiciary and the judicial system of Kenya, and promoting fairness, independence, competence, and integrity within it. So help me God.
I, Johnson Okoth Okello, a judge of the Court of Appeal, do solemnly affirm to diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya and to impartially do justice in accordance with this Constitution as by law established and the laws and customs of the Republic without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. In the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to me, I will at all times and to the best of my knowledge and ability protect, administer, and defend this Constitution with a view to upholding the dignity and the respect for the judiciary and the judicial system of Kenya and promoting fairness, independence, competence, and integrity within it. So help me God.
I, Baira Mongaya, a judge of the Court of Appeal, do swear in the name of the Almighty God to diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya, to impartially do justice in accordance with this Constitution as by law established, and the laws and customs of the Republic without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. In the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to me, I will at all times and to the best of my knowledge and ability protect, administer, and defend this Constitution with the view of upholding the dignity and the respect for the judiciary and the judicial system of Kenya, and promoting fairness, independence, competence, and integrity within it. So help me God.
I, Enoch Chachamuita, a judge of the Court of Appeal, do swear in the name of the Almighty God to diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya, and to impartially do justice in accordance with this Constitution as by law established, and the laws and customs of the Republic, without fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. In the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to me, I will at all times and to the best of my knowledge and ability protect, administer, and defend this Constitution with a view to upholding the dignity .
I congratulate the 15 honorable men and women sworn in today as judges of the Court of Appeal, as you assume this high constitutional office in service of our Republic. Your appointment carries immense responsibility and profound national consequence. In accepting this charge, you join a vital institution whose strength, independence, and credibility are indispensable to Kenya's stability and the health of our democracy. I'm encouraged to note that in recent years, the Court of Appeal has progressively strengthened its institutional capacity through a deliberate and structured appointment process. This reflects a sustained commitment to expanding access to justice, improving appellate efficiency, and ensuring the court is adequately resourced to fulfill its vital constitutional mandate. In 2022, 11 judges were appointed to the Court of Appeal, 4 of whom I appointed immediately upon assuming office on the 15th of September 2022. This appointment of 15 additional judges, therefore, represents one of the most significant single reinforcements of the court in recent history. It demonstrates our collective resolve to reduce the backlog of appeal cases, shorten time required to resolve disputes, and strengthen public confidence in the administration of justice.
Myabano mwanchomo rigereria asukubwatia ayonsi nabo igomuroberi oyega kurwa chinsenye chabor mambigo kirabori kana inde twekire omwerio aseria lero Jumatano kerekeria ngukaniria otware omubasumbya nabo igogendere kubwatia emiroberi yonsi yatigera aseri tuko rigima wika eriankyo kerekeria orachikomerana na Linet Nyambane asomuroberi oyoiga nainde retriane Ishmael Mogere nakuganiri mubasumbya.